Chili Dog kicking the show off. I won't start until somebody chats. That's what's up.
Dabs 4 days. What's up, Nate? Good morning.
Good morning. Let's start the show. Shall we?
Prepare yourself.
Let's get the timing right on that.
Prepare yourself.
Boom. Got that click. That clicks right at the right time. Get the temperature coming on right at the right time.
It starts with an F. Bullshit!
Hello, Trendies. Hello. Hello, Trendies. Trendy everybody live from Northern California, Orlando, Florida, home of TRENDYASDABBERS and all things trendy. You will find me, hashtag Trendies on all forms of social media. Okay. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys are doing good. Chili Dog and Dabs for Days. Both of you. Okay. Thank you for saying hello. I appreciate you both showing up. I'm going to go ahead and do a dab and tell you that I was watching Carl the Moon this morning, and Ben Armstrong is BitBoy Crypto. He has been fired from BitBoy Crypto because he does meth.
Michael Haskey. What's up, Nick?
And we were watching him a while back, and I go, he's doing meth again. I could tell he was grinding his jaw. I was like, that guy's doing drugs again. And I told my audience, just a matter of time before everyone starts realizing I'm way ahead of everyone else on it. I said, but you guys watch. I didn't know what was going to happen. I never imagined that he'd lose his whole YouTube channel. But he did. He lost everything. He lost his Twitter. He lost everything. So the reason why is because he's doing drugs again and everybody knows it, right? The people who are in denial about Ben Armstrong's drug use are all the people who benefit from being friends with him. Like Carl the Moon and this other douchebag he has on.
Is that why BC is dropping?
No. No, it's got nothing to do with Ben Armstrong. No. Yeah, it's dropping and it's predicted to go. They could go as low as 22, 23,000, they're saying. But to listen to these two guys, these two young guys sit here and suck up to a crackhead is the most disgusting thing as it gets. It doesn't get any more vulgar when you watch people that are enabling a meth head to keep doing meth and running cover for him so he can keep doing meth and killing himself because they're so fucking greedy that they can't see the truth for what it is. Ben's own team dismissed him. They fired him. The people who work with him every day, the people who make the most amount of money and base their success off of this man, they all said, we're done with you. And Carl the Moon, that means nothing to him. Because he's fucking indoctrinated and bought. You know, that's his buddy. It's like being in a codependent relationship where your partner is using drugs, is in full addict, and you just cover for them, make excuses for them, you lie for them. This is exactly where Carl and this douchebag, whoever this guy is that's with Carl, this is where they are. I don't even want to pull up the video and watch it for a little bit because it's so disgusting to listen to them shill for Ben, the crackhead, who's lost everything because he's a fucking crackhead, but he hasn't lost his friends yet because some of his friends are fucking noobs to life, and they don't know a fucking crackhead when they see one. You know, Carl's only 29 years old. He doesn't know what a meth head looks like when they're in their addict. And this is my prediction, is Ben is eventually going to be hitting them up for money when he goes through all of his money. And even though he's got a lot of money, when you're a fucking meth head, that money goes fast. It just disappears. And you watch, mark my words, remember the date, remember the time, whatever, in a year, whenever, you'll see BitBoy Crypto is going to hit such a low. This is nothing, because you still have people like Carl the Moon keeping him buoyant, keeping him treading water. You know, they're underneath him in a fucking, you know, with a goddamn submarine keeping him fucking afloat. With this kind of rhetoric, you know, this rhetoric that I was watching today. Now, I understand that most of my audience isn't interested in this. You guys don't even want to talk about it. Nobody came in. Nobody's interested at all. Michael Haskey, hello. So, because you guys won't even say anything to me in the chat. I'm just not even going to talk about it. How about that? We had a great show last night. If you watched, it was great. We were with Therapy Range. A lot of new people watching the show last night. We got some new subscribers, I believe. Some new followers. It's nice. All right.
Dabs 4 days. You loving the e-nail nay?
I'd be loving it if you guys would
Cash is
fucking...
420. I dated a method head for 9 months till I realized some people can hide it very well, especially when someone is young and ignorant to meth use, as popular down here. Chili dog.
Thank you, Cash is
I can
420.
actually buy more BC.
Thank
Cash
you.
is 420.
Thank you.
Meth asterisk.
I was like, I can't believe no one's going to engage me in conversation about this. I'm not even going to bring up the video because no one's even going to talk to me
Below
about
my
it.
average.
Okay. Right.
Chili dog. I think meth heads can only hide it for so long.
Yeah, well, it starts, you get into it, it starts, your skin basically starts developing these sores, and you start scratching at yourself. It gets really bad. But yeah, some people have a tolerance for it.
Back up, because at the end of the day, he knows how to do it. He has a lot of connections, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Ben knows how to do it. Because, he's a fucking meth head. He just got fired from his other company, you idiot. And you can't even see that. Now, this is 7 minutes in, so they've already been talking a lot of shit. But, they obviously don't know what it means when somebody's grinding their jaw, while they're podcasting.
Worried about it. I'm actually happy to know that he's fine and he's okay.
You don't know shit about fine and okay, you fucking enabler. You have no idea. You don't know what he's going through right now. All you see is a little email message that he sends, and he's doing great, he's fine, and now you're shilling for him for a meth head.
But if you have the right attitude, as you always say, Carl.
Cheers, guys.
You'll be okay eventually. So, actually, there is a video that I'll play in the background. Meanwhile, I'll do a recap, because otherwise we won't be able to have his audio and our audio back. The subtitle is for once. And yeah, so basically it was a really, really good video, and he said it's been difficult, it's been hard, a lot has happened to him because of they grow so fast, so quick.
Cheers, Nick.
But there is a lot of love in this video, and he says, thank you for the support, you guys have been amazing. And then, like you said, he goes and he talks about the fact that now the BitBoy channel is being rebranded, to something else. And it's funny that he says, I'm 41 years old, and being called BitBoy is kind of funny. So he goes, I'm Ben Armstrong, and he's launching a new band nation. So his community is going to be changed. He's going to say, he said also they
codependence
with the coin, the Ben coin, to integrate in their social. It's a really good video, actually, and I'm happy to see him back.
Thank you, Chili Dog.
And basically, he said, explains a little bit about what happened to the shenanigans with the fact that
right?
There's been a lot of
Dabs for days, right?
Companies owning other companies, and they too fast, too quick, so he lost control of the business in the end. There's people involved, as we know, TJ and another guys. But overall, it's a very good message, very positive. He's ready to move on to the next stage, and I also like the fact that he let go of the BitBoy.
Listen how this shill cunt motherfucker is just taking up goddamn spokesperson job for Ben. Like he knows what's going on. Oh, he's doing this and he's doing that and da-da-da. Dude, you don't know anything that you're talking about. You have absolutely no clue about what you're saying. You're making shit up out of thin air, and you're trying to float a narrative to thousands of people. And people like me ain't buying it because we see a crackhead over there.
Because yes, it was his brand, yes, it was his channel, but I think it's best for him if he goes and reboot. I think he has enough fan base and enough experience to be successful. So really well played, I think.
Oh yeah, well played. Yeah, well played, man. Go out, get all fucked up on meth and get fired from your company. Well played, Ben. Yeah, dude. You're complimenting him for getting fired from his own company. You dumb suck-up little ass-licking cunt bitch. God, somebody should spit on you.
What's your view, Carl? What do you think? Ben is going to come up with moving forward? Do you think it's gonna work?
Do you hear this? They're like fantasizing about a crackhead.
Ben and BitBoy, they have a huge drama, and I think it's good that they finally separate, because if they have this drama and they don't want the best for each other.
I think it's good that they separate. Dude, you think it's good that he got fired? You think it's good that the whole goddamn thing crumbled? You're an idiot. Carl, you don't even make sense. You're so bought. You've got your nose so far up Ben Armstrong's nose, you can tell me what he ate when he was fucking 1 year old. You fucking idiot. This amount of sucking up here and brown nosing, it's, Carl's got that brown nose. He's got his mouth on there. That's what that fucking line is on his lip. It's Ben Armstrong shit. All over Carl's lip.
And it's not a mutually beneficial partnership, and I think it was good that they separated.
It wasn't mutually beneficial because Ben Armstrong started using meth again. He went out and started being a fucking drug addict, abusing fucking crackhead. He wasn't making any sense. He was making poor decisions, and they said, you know what, man? We can't have this anymore because we want to be successful. And you know the thing that wasn't being successful, the whole problem, that was cut away like a fucking cancer, Carl, and you're sitting there licking up the cancer. You fucking idiot.
Because you have to be on the same side, you have to work with each other and for each other, and it seems like they were not. So that's just sad, but
oh no, I thought
yeah,
no. You say it's sad all of a sudden? You just said you thought it was the best thing that could happen. In your same breath, you fucking hypocrite. Make up your fucking mind, Carl.
It will take a lot of time for Ben to build up everything again, because of course he was the biggest crypto channel. Like, he invested, I don't know how like, thousands of videos into that channel. So
coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Long process.
Great while it lasted.
But
welcome to the fucking hangover party, you idiots.
Then of course it's gonna be possible. I think, but only time will tell. But yeah, I think so. What do you think, Mr. M?
Yeah, I agree. Also, I think it's a perfect time now to build, right? Because, you know, the market is about to find...
Yeah, it's a perfect time to be fired from your job. It's a perfect time to lose everything. Perfect timing. This is perfect for Ben. I mean, have you guys ever seen a level of coping that meets this level of coping? I mean, it's just a dude they know that they podcast with. It's not like it's even them or like they're financially bonded to this guy.
Wanna kiss ass.
Bro, thank you, Dabs for Days. Exactly. What a fucking kiss ass.
His bottom, or maybe he found it already, as I believe. So it's a prime time to be.
And you know, in the chat below, it's like, oh, I love Ben. Oh, you guys are great. Ben's my favorite crypto. Oh, blah 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 blah.
You know, in 2017, he was almost ready to give up. So he knows how it works. He has all the knowledge, and you know, imagine if someone would start from scratch with no idea on how to talk to the camera, no.
Oh yeah, and imagine someone who fucking had it all and threw it all in the garbage so he could fucking smoke meth. You fucking dumb motherfucker.
Crypto, no network, no nothing. So it's not going to be as difficult for him. And I think, you know.
No, these guys are sniffing around. They want to do something. They want to use him. You know, they're like, oh, come on over to our channel, Ben, and bring all your people with you. Yeah, right. I see where this is going.
He proven himself someone who knows how to build a business. So I'm not worried. I'm actually excited for him and what he's going to do next.
Can you spin this any harder?
Happen, you know,
Dabs 4 days.
Is there and they'll have to
I smell something fishy double.
Both of these idiots. This is called indoctrination, man. It's what's fishy. What your bullshit detector is detecting is the bullshit that's coming out of these guys, where they're trying to rationalize a crackhead that just got fired for being a fucking drug addict from his job, someone they're affiliated with, and they're sitting here defending him for being a crackhead and for getting fired from his own fucking company.
But yeah, I have faith. I like Ben. I think he'll be okay. So definitely my support there.
I don't like him.
I'm excited.
I don't like him at all.
What he's going to do, and
he's
like
a fucking phony, and he uses his little fucking Christianity. Oh, you all be blessed. Yeah, be blessed. Whatever. You're a fucking hypocrite, Ben.
Dabs 4 days.
You don't even respect yourself.
We can smell a pig from a mile away if you know what I mean.
For sure, and I'm happy. Yeah, go for it.
What did you say? What can we expect from Ben Armstrong now when it's Ben, not BitBoy anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think he's gonna back to his root. So if you remember in the beginning, it was all about content, you know, like as opposed to having a good show and a big stream. And you know, I suppose now he wants to go back to his root. So meaning good information, like high value content, and he has definitely years of experience. So it'll be good to see him, you know, going on his phone and produce video on the move to keep people up to date. And I mean, if you look what he's done in the years, he helped so many people in, you know, being financial free and financially independent. So I'm sure he's going to rewind back to his core value, and it's going to be a nice journey for him as well to find himself. I'm actually excited, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Ben, like I said before, he's a friend of mine. I've known him since 4 or 5 years now.
You don't know a crackhead, dude. Hey, dude, I got news for you, man.
I think that,
you don't know meth heads, bro. Let me tell you something. I do, and they could be your best friend for years and years and years, and then they will just completely royally fuck you because they don't give a fuck about you, bro. And it happened to me, and it's gonna fucking happen to you too.
I just think that probably they they just had too many internal issues, um, and such a partnership when there are too many internal issues and the people don't like each other in the company like that, it's better to separate. They should have done it earlier, but yeah, it is what it is. And as soon as Ben comes on the channel, we will ask him all the questions. I don't know, Mr. M, like, what do you think is the best question we should ask Ben when he comes on the channel, maybe today or tomorrow?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, the first one would be, "Are you okay?" from my side, but it looks like he's replying to that question saying yes. I also like that he's showing a lot of love to his community. I think it would be nice to ask him what he has next in mind. What's the plan? You know, is he planning to rebuild? I mean, apparently he has a new channel now. He's going to have a new social media and all of those things, but it'll be good to know and confirm he wants to go back to his kind of root and value and see. There's also a lot of questions about his project, and you know he has a bunch of different things going on. He also was talking about relocating to Dubai, so
Hey, Randy.
it's going to be a good conversation to pick his brain and see what he wants to do next. Because, like you said, a lot has happened.
You guys just want to use him for your own channels to bolster your fucking your view counts.
As long as they talk about you, I think
you guys are little using cunts.
People that will hate you and they will like you.
You're little fucking greedy, fucking see-through, transparent as fuck.
What's the plan next?
And you act like you're loyal to this dude who's a fucking meth head.
Of course, it wasn't easy, and let's not forget, when everything is public, there is also the social pressure, right? I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of stress for being all over the place, all over the news, and people talking about your stuff and what you've done, and it's never a good experience, right? So, I mean, now, like you said, maybe now things are chilling a bit, which is great. So that means people are strategizing on what to do next. But I'm excited to have him on the show because I'm sure he will have a lot of info for us. 100%.
I think so too. Yeah, he should come. And what do you think? So obviously, publicly, we know the story, and even between me and Ben, he says the same thing. Like he said publicly, it's a hostile takeover, and all of that stuff. What do you think, Mr. M? Is there a chance that this was all just a huge publicity stunt to separate himself from the BitBoy brand?
Yeah. This is all publicity. He wants everyone to think that he's on meth, Carl. You're an idiot. I can't listen to this anymore. I'm done. I can't believe I made it this far. Holy shit. Are you guys as sick of it as I am? Like I said, it's as disgusting as it gets. And, if you want to go see how Ben from BitBoy Crypto was acting, we pull up a fucking video.
Seamer cannabis. Yes, I am.
This is 1 month ago. Fucking obnoxious.
Some stuff I was said right before.
Okay.
Welcome.
This is what someone looks like when they're on fucking drugs, dude. Oh my god, this is hard for me to watch. But to me, it's painfully obvious.
To BitBoy Crypto, my name is Ben. Today, on the 1-year anniversary of the Celsius bankruptcy, we are going to break down what the latest is regarding Alex Mashinsky, his arrest, some stuff I was said right before the arrest, which is very interesting. We'll get into all of that. So, I guess to start off.
See how he's
here,
having a hard time talking right there?
People from Celsius still screwed, still don't have their money.
Dude, I'm having such a hard time listening to this, you guys. I mean, it is so obvious that he's gacked out right there. I don't know if you can hear how he's having a hard time saying just easy sentences.
So, I guess to start off here, people from Celsius still some stuff I was said right before the arrest, which is very interesting. We'll get into all of that. So,
Right there.
I was said right before the arrest, which is very interesting. We'll get into all of that.
We're going to what to all that? We're going to end up to all that? We're going to end up to all that? Is that what you're trying to say? We're going to talk about all that? I don't even understand what he tried to say right there.
For the arrest, which is very interesting. We'll get into all for the arrest, which is very interesting. We'll get into all of that. So,
We'll get into all that. We'll get into all that. Yeah, all right. We'll get into all that.
I was said right before the arrest, which is very interesting. We'll get into all of that. So, I guess to start off here, people from Celsius still screwed, still don't have their money. Everybody's fighting over all this stuff in the bankruptcy, and the retail customers, the ones who put the money in, are the ones who continue to be left in last place here.
I have the worst feeling right here that I'm the only one that is seeing him gacked out of his mind right now. I have a feeling that I'm the only person that is seeing this because nobody else is saying anything in the chat. But to me, as a former drug addict, I'm telling you, this is someone on drugs right here, man. This is someone sped out of their fucking brain. Spinning.
Finally, after over a year, we finally have the arrest of Alex Wyszynski. And I think a lot of people have been waiting for this, and Alex just seemed to think we have the arrest of Alex Wyszynski. And we finally have the arrest of Alex Wyszynski. And I think a lot of people have been waiting for this, and Alex just seemed to think it wasn't going to happen. But, I mean, there are some issues here. Now, look, XRP just had a great day. Ripple defeated the SEC. Absolutely phenomenal. The SEC's, I mean, there are some issues here. Now, look, XRP just had a great day. Ripple defeated the SEC. Absolutely phenomenal. The SEC's credibility is really hurt here. A great day. Ripple defeated the SEC. Absolutely phenomenal. SEC. Absolutely phenomenal. SEC. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. The SEC's credibility is really hurt here. Okay? But now, going after Alex Wyszynski from the SEC, do they have what going after Alex Wyszynski? Now, going after Alex Wyszynski. Now, going after Alex Wyszynski. Going after Alex Wyszynski. Going after Alex Wyszynski. Credibility is really hurt here. Okay? But now, going after Alex Wyszynski from the SEC.
You see him trying to...
Okay.
I mean...
But
I hope you guys are all catching this. You guys see the way he's trying to adjust his glasses while he's trying to say Alex Wyszynski's name? And you guys notice that? Watch this.
Chili dog.
now,
Most
going
of the
after
meth
Alex
fiends I
Wyszynski-
knew in the 90s are dead now.
Do you see it? Do you see the him being in his attic right here? Do you see this? He can't even get it. This is a guy who I've watched podcasts for hours and just when he's sober can just lay out sentences line after line. He's always got something to say. And now on this specific upload, he can barely get a statement out. A single line without tripping up and skipping up. And look at him reaching at his glasses, whatever the fuck that was.
from the SEC, do they have what it takes to push over the finish line? Or are they going to, want to get revenge after the Ripple case and they're going to go after Alex, as hard as they can go after him? We'll see. So what happens is that the SEC files a case against Alex Wyszynski.
Files the case.
7 counts of things ranging from fraud to commodities violations and everything in between. So they said that he sold $42 million worth of Cell token. Cell, it was in the name. That's a good joke. But the point is he sold $42 million worth of Cell token. And it is a little complicated because you can obviously be selling a token if it's your compensation and, you know, still be long on the token. That's kind of the argument that they try to make against Brad Garlinghouse. He said he was long on XRP, but he sold some. It's like, well, you know, sometimes you have to sell some. But I don't know, for $42 million worth, that might be a little excessive. So what happens is he goes into court yesterday, no handcuffs, just a gray polo, goes into court and pleads not guilty. Of course, he's going to continue to plead not guilty throughout all this. And, you know, there is a bit of sympathy for me to Alex, and it just goes from the perspective of, you know, true, you were negligent, no question about it. You got to take responsibility for that. At minimum, negligent. But, you know, at the same time, all this happened because of Sam Bankman-Fried. Like, all this happened because of SBM. FTX doesn't exist. I don't know. Is Celsius still standing? It's hard to say.
That's bullshit.
FTX had a vendetta against Alex from when Alex started pulling the tethers off of FTX on behalf of Celsius, because he went down there in January and saw it was a mess ran by a bunch of kids on beanbags, and he was so mortified that he went back and they immediately started trying to figure out how to unwind with FTX. That's what leads to personal vendetta of you know, Sam versus Alex, and just like you did with Terra Luna, just like you did with Alex, just like you did with Voyager, BlockFi, Sam destroyed everything. So when I say there's a little shred. Certainly doesn't absolve him of any of his problems, and you know, in the game of business, though, you know, there's a lot of fake it till you make it. There's a lot of fake it till you make it out there. And, you know, if you make it, well, you're golden. But if you stumble and something happens or you run into an issue like happened here with Celsius, then, you know, your Ponzi's up.
Like, what fucking happened with you is basically the same fucking thing. Funny, right? It's described himself to a T. He was faking it till he made it, but he didn't make it.
Don't act like I'm defending him, but you know, I was sent over some documents just the other night, right before, less than 24 hours before the arrest. It's in these documents, and they explain basically that you know, there's a claim now from Celsius on the FTX bankruptcy for $2 billion. Because they're saying that's what FTX basically cost them with their predatory practices, counterfeiting the Cell token, the whole thing, shorting it to zero, manipulating prices, just the whole thing. So, you know, ultimately, I do believe, though, that justice going to get served here. I think he'll definitely get at least a heavy fine. But, you know, will he actually end up doing prison time? I think that's questionable. I really think it's questionable. You know, there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of money and they're able to fight in ways that most people can't fight. And so I want to see justice done. I think probably at least a couple of years in prison should be on the table. But, you know, will it happen? It's hard to say. So there's this new, you know, $2 billion claim against FTX to give their user funds back. And that would actually solve the insolvency hold for Celsius if they were to win that. But once again, Celsius now jumping in front of the retail customers from FTX. So, you know, it's, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't, I guess. But I think that when it comes to Celsius, obviously it's dead. Either they may try to launch a new company, whatever. We'll see. I think there's too much carryover from the previous administration, even right now, still on Celsius. So that change of order really needs to happen, and people need to stop associating Alex Mashinsky with Celsius because he's not the CEO of Celsius anymore. Always be the founder, but he's definitely not the CEO. And, you know, he's facing a lot of serious charges here. So we'll see what happens. My prediction is I think he'll get 2 years in prison. That's what I think. I think he'll get 2 years in prison. And I believe that he'll get some heavy fine. And, 2 years in prison isn't the end of the world for him. And, it definitely hurts credibility significantly. But outside of that, he's already rich. Who cares? Maybe just fade off into the sunset, possibly. And I think that the reason why I believe he is going to get some time is going to be because of the literal lying that he was doing to suppress what was actually happening. That's what I think's got to get him. I think that saying everything's fine the week that everything's falling apart, like, that's manipulation. You should have just been honest and give everybody the rundown of what was actually happening. So if he would have done that, I think maybe things would be a lot different for him right now. There'd definitely be a lot of sympathy for him out there. But at the end of the day, people don't really have sympathy for millionaires and billionaires, and especially those who are involved in fraudulent schemes. And, like I said, minimum negligence. I think it's that corner cutting of the line about what actually was going on with Celsius and the pivotal moments that could have changed someone's financial future. He suppressed it, and I think that right there is what's going to end up getting him. So we'll see. I definitely wouldn't put this on the level of Sam Bankman-Fried, but it's definitely in the upper echelon of cases and importance. And 1 year after the bankruptcy, it's good to see things finally at least advancing and moving on. Alex believes that Celsius customers are still making 70% of their money back. So we'll see. All I know is possession is 9/10 of the law. That's all I got. Be blessed.
Mr. Blue 313 Sexton. Morning,
Fucking
folks.
stupid ass hypocrite bitch.
Video that is quite shocking, and so just wait for that. But first of all, Bitcoin had a pump, and now we of course saw a
this is not the easiest video that I ever had to make by any stretch of the imagination, and I've got a couple words on a piece of paper. This is all from the heart. I got some topics that I want to cover.
So now that he's sober, now that he quit doing that, you can tell he can talk now. You guys see the difference? So he had to go get urinalysis and blood work done to try to prove that he hasn't been using drugs. Thing is, meth doesn't stay in your system that long. So, and he just stopped, obviously, and went and got the blood work done. And he's waving it around like it proves that he hasn't been doing drugs. But all you have to do is go watch that Alex Mashinsky video that we just watched and listen to how he's talking all broken up and choppy and acting all twitchy and shit. And look how he's acting now that he's off the shit. You can see he can talk normally again, right? Watch.
Is that serious? That was not, I guess that's a comic relief we all needed at this moment. You have to laugh until you cry. So, first I'm sorry. Sorry to the Bit Squad. I know I let people down.
Whoa.
I know that.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did let people down. Yeah, he's taking responsibility for this. So what I heard up until then was that, it's everybody else's fault and it's an attack on him. And what Carl the Moon just said, it's a hostile takeover. Oh, no. Now he's apologizing and taking some responsibility. This should be really interesting.
My family down. I've let the Bit Squad down. I've let everybody down. I failed. I was so strong for so long.
Dude, is he going to admit that he used drugs and then you're all going to see that I was right? Is he going to admit that he went out? Because I'm telling you, he did. No matter what he says right now, and I haven't seen this yet, I guarantee you he was using again. That's why he couldn't form a fucking sentence when he was going after Alex Mashinsky and Sam Bankman-Fried. It was obvious to me. I'm like, that guy's on drugs. He's totally cracked out of his mind.
I've been at rock bottom before. I know what it feels like.
Oh, rock bottom? Oh, when you're abusing drugs, that's what that term usually means. That you're using drugs again and that you've hit the lowest point of your life. Huh.
I'm there again.
He's there again.
So, the word relapse is an interesting word because I
Boom! You know, I don't want to make fun of an addict that's going to actually come clean and admit to everything that he's been doing. But God damn it, I'm watching all the chats, waiting for someone to say, nay, you nailed it. You were right. He was totally using drugs. He's admitted it publicly. Not a single one of you. Not one person in my chat. It's like the more I get shit right, the more you fucking hate me. Whatever.
I think the way I interpret it and the way other people may have interpreted it are not the same. I haven't done cocaine, haven't done meth, haven't done drugs like that. Didn't relapse.
You
but
did.
I've been taking diet pills and I've been taking some steroids,
Yeah.
some stuff that I thought.
Whatever, bro.
Right.
You were fucking
As
snorting.
usual, right.
You were snorting Adderall, or you were fucking on some shit, bro. You were definitely on some shit. You could say you weren't on meth or crack, but you were on something. You were probably on that goddamn that oxys, bro. He's probably snorting fucking oxys or some shit.
Was helping me. It helped me get my body in shape. You guys know I was very out of shape. I was doing everything I can to try to do the best. And, you know, the thing is that I guess I was acting crazier than I thought I was.
No, dude. This is bullshit. Now, I'm calling bullshit on him. He was on some fucking meth or cocaine or some fucking... He was on oxys or something. Snorting Adderall. He was doing something hardcore. And I guarantee you, it wasn't just anabolic steroids or whatever the fuck he's claiming. I knew guys that fucking juiced when I was in high school, man. They were a little angry on the weekends and they would get into fights, but they weren't making decisions in their lives that were, devastating. They weren't getting fired from their jobs or anything like that. You know, I've never seen anything like this except with drug addicts. And I'm talking about crackheads and meth heads. You know, and people who snort pills.
These things were affecting me more.
Thank you, Steve Running, for being the only person who can give me credit for nailing this. Yeah, he's definitely been on some drugs.
More than I thought they were. And everybody around it could see me, and I just couldn't see it. And obviously, a lot of people know at this point, and if you don't, you're going to know now, I had an affair. I did. And I know that I have a family brand. That's my brand. Family.
Oh, but Christian, but be blessed. Oh, but be blessed. You fucking hypocrite. Nailed it again. Fucking nailed it.
I had an affair, and it went on for a while. And, you know,
Wow.
the other person is not a bad person. I want to say that. I take full responsibility for all of this. And, you know, what says family more than stay together when you go through something like this? And we're going to stay together.
Yeah, well, I love him so much, and everyone has all couples go through hard times, and I believe in redemption and I believe in hope.
Better be running to the doctor, honey, and seeing if you got anything.
And I fully believe that Ben and I, we've invested too much in our relationship for either one of us to walk away. So we are committed to making us a priority and coming out a lot stronger.
I give him credit for going public. It's the only choice he had. Because I was destroying this motherfucker every chance I got.
Really hard for my kids. I'm sorry to them.
With nothing but the truth, man.
I just think at the end of the day, my perspective of what was going on was probably not accurate.
Years ago, when I started interviewing people, he was one of the first people I asked to come on the show to interview. And he responded. They responded, and they said, we'd like to check out what your show's about. I'm like, yeah, I told him I was a pro-cannabis channel on YouTube. And they checked out my show, and they respectfully declined. They didn't want to have anything to do with me, because I'm the big drug user. Oh, I'm the big drug user. Okay, Ben.
The truth may be somewhere in the middle.
No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, guys.
Is that I've messed up, and I can't make an excuse for an affair. I can't make an excuse for it. I absolutely cannot. And I said a lot of things about the people that work with me. And like I said, this is me looking at it from my perspective. From their perspective, things were different. And they didn't want to talk to me about this. People haven't wanted to talk to me about it. They've known for a while, and they just. It felt like
cannabis.
When I got confronted about it that
Cheers.
I was ambushed. That's how it felt. It felt to me I was ambushed. My company. I built it in a way that I'm not in total control of it.
Cheers.
I'm not. There are things I can do legally. There are things I can do.
It was an intervention, Ben.
But at the end of the day, if I want to save BitBoy Crypto,
it was a Ben intervention.
Or you love to hate, or the other. If I'm gonna save it, then I've got to give in. And I have to fold. And I have to go and work with these people. And I want to save it. We have a lot of brands. Just so we have many more, but we have Vimeo, BitBoy Academy, Cruise Crypto, Hit Network. We have Frankie Candles. Frank's great. I love Frank. I still love Frank. And there's a lot here. There's a lot to save. And the fact is, nobody probably in history has made more millionaires than this channel made in the last bull run. And we're going to do it again. And so you have to decide whether you're for us or against us. I had said some things about Justin and TJ and Allison and Nick DeMondi and other people.
And you're a piece of shit for that.
And I don't.
And you are a fucking piece of shit for all of that. All the shit that you were speaking, and you running out and getting a fucking drug test and waving it around and claiming that fucking what a narcissist you were. And, I can only give him credit for doing this, but at the same time, I know it was more than anabolic steroids, guys. I guarantee you.
No, I haven't got to talk to him yet. We're going to sit down and talk, I believe, and try to get all this straightened out. But, all of our brands that we have are amazing. There's no better academy than BitLab Academy. There just isn't. It's phenomenal. Kelly does such an unbelievable job. Our newsletter, Dana works on that. Unbelievable. And content goes into that newsletter. Frankie, one of the best TA guys out there. Hit Network, we have tons of channels under that. We have Around the Blockchain that we incubated on my channel. We have a new show that we're going to be debuting at some point. And Vimeo, look, when it comes to NFT platforms, there's not going to be a better platform than Vimeo. Justin and I have talked. I've talked to Justin.
It's like...
Me and Justin,
This is like psychotic.
I think we came to an understanding. We do love each other. We've been friends for 15 years.
This was, bro, I went out once.
Friends for 15 years.
Dude, when I was sober...
And I care about him and his family.
I was sober for years. And I went out, dude, and I fucking used cocaine. And I remember contacting some friends and saying, I'm out of control. It was immediate. I mean, I used for a few hours, and I was like, I'm out of control. I can't stop. I need you guys to come help me. I called some friends, and they came and helped me out. The difference between me and this guy is I knew as soon as I started, I wanted to see if I could use drugs again and just use them casually, and I couldn't. I was proving it to myself, right? He fucking just went out. He's like, I'm going back. I want to go back to that. And he made the conscious decision to go back to using drugs again. You know, it took him way too long to fish himself back out. As far as I'm concerned, I saw this coming 6 months ago, guys. You know, it was when the Sam Bankman-Fried thing happened. I don't know how long ago that was. But it was when that Sam Bankman-Fried, and I saw the way he was behaving, and I was like, he's not being rational. I was like, he's acting like an addict. And he's blaming everybody else for him losing money. I was like, he sounds like a crazy fucking gambling addict. You know, and I watched him, and I was like, oh, he's on drugs again. Because I know he used to be a meth head. He's talked about it before. And I was impressed by how far he'd come from using drugs, like the MyPillow guy. You know, like very successful in crypto, and he's the most popular podcaster in crypto on YouTube. What an accomplishment. I was impressed. I wanted to interview the guy. He was doing great. He's very articulate. You know, the one thing I didn't like was the way he spoke. He would break things up like this. He would talk like that, and then he would go like this. And I fucking hate that shit. It drives me crazy. But, you know, he thinks he's a goddamn sports announcer.
And sometimes when you're in business and you're in the heat of battle, you forget the things that are really important. What's really important are the people that are around you. How you treat them. And Vimeo is going to do amazing. Vimeo is going to be the NFT platform. I told you guys in the beginning, when we got involved in this, it was going to be the platform. It was going to take out OpenSea. We didn't know somebody else was going to take it out first. But when Vimeo comes out, you're not going to see an NFT platform that's going to be able to touch it. And yes, NFTs are down and they seem like they're dead, but they're not. They'll come back. Crypto seems like it's dead, and just one pump, and all of a sudden everybody's interested again. And so we're all going to get through this. We're going to get through this together. And I just ask you guys not to turn your back on me. I do care about everybody. I care a lot. I care about crypto adoption. I care about Bitcoin. I care about making Bitcoin the moment that brings in the adoption. And as bad as this situation is, and it's really, really freaking bad, way more people are going to know about crypto after this, I believe. So, you know, a sacrifice for crypto adoption for you guys. That was a joke. That's all I have to do, my jokes. That's it. But I love you all. And I don't know how long I'll be gone for. I don't know. A week, a month, I don't know. But I'm gonna come back.
Took me 9 months
more than ever.
In rehab.
I just know I'm a fighter, and I'll continue to fight. I love you guys. People ask me why out.
Go to rehab. Go to rehab, bro. So, you know, all we can do is wait and see what he does, what decisions he makes. You know, if he cleans himself up and goes back, and he's obviously got really good support, man, from Carl, who's willing to completely fillet the guy, you know, at a moment's notice. I mean, that was Carl that put that up. So Carl's known that this dude was cheating on his wife, you know, and cheating on his family and using fucking drugs. And he's just completely fine with that. This was 5 days ago. So dude, oh my God, dude, how old is that? All right, let's watch this.
What do you make of the recent UAPs, I think is the new term. Eric, you need to get up with the times here. They're not UFOs anymore. That's the old...
I wasn't even in this game when it was UFOs. So.
Great camera.
So what do you make of the recent UAP stories and attention and response?
Look how warm everything looks.
I'd like to ask you first.
Looks like a movie.
So I had a look at the first whistleblower from about 2 months ago quite closely with Andy Stumpf, who used to have pretty high-level security clearance, and he explained to me about how unimpressive that particular type of security clearance is, how very common.
Which one? This is David?
Yes, David. No, not David Fravor.
No. David Fravor was the Tic Tac.
Correct.
This is Dave Garush?
Yes.
Okay.
Very common level of security clearance. That you're using that as some sort of, this is a legitimate credential. Doesn't really wash too much. That it was it was third-hand information mostly, second-hand information kind of.
Listen to this.
I heard from a person who saw.
Right.
Listen to this.
Right.
It just seemed to me to be rather
Fake.
on the face of it,
Bullshit.
unimpressive.
Right?
That release.
I see.
Well said.
What did you think?
Well said. I agree.
Well, like I've been telling everybody.
All of this shit is like that.
These are highly conserved stories. This is not the only person I've heard this story from. I've heard this from multiple people. There are various versions of this secret world which play out as space opera. You know, that then MJ-12 became the real government that only even the president couldn't understand, you know? And it's like, okay. So that's the weird part about it.
Cheers, guys. No longer regarding cannabis.
Sober many of the people are who believe this and who claim to have had direct contact with it. And then you don't know what to do.
Smoking that OG Kush.
I mean, in other words,
if you're wondering.
Whatever this is, there is a thing. It's not necessarily little green men. It could be, for example, that they mock up a floating spaceship in a hangar and then they drag people past it and say, whatever you do, do not look to your left or right or you'll be shot. And then, of course, people look. And then, like, mission accomplished. Now people will say, oh, my God, you have no idea what the U.S. has incredible technology. And then maybe the idea is you've got a cover story. Maybe you've got your adversary investing in things that don't make any sense. I don't know. But there's nothing here. This is not about Mylar balloons and seagulls anymore.
Chili dog. I loaded super sour orange.
This right here. This one point. I'm smarter than that guy. I've got more information at my disposal than he does. More experts to back up what I say. And he claims, this guy just claimed that there's more to the UAP thing than just seagulls and metallic birthday party balloons. You heard him say that, right? He literally believes that there are objects in the sky that these guys have seen with their eyes that they're reporting. That's what he believes, and he's got nothing except the words of a few people to back up anything that he's trying to push down your throat. So I'm going to back this up, and I want you to listen to him.
That's what he said.
Yeah, listen to him say it one more time. Because to me, it's shockingly pathetic that this guy passes himself off as some kind of a deep thinker and literally says this.
Things that don't make any sense. I don't know. But there's nothing here. This is not about Mylar balloons and seagulls anymore.
Based on what? Exactly. Oh, that's right. It's also a blur, you know, and an exhaust fume from a plane. Oh yeah, and it's also airplanes going over with blinking lights. It's that too. Is that where he's going with this? I don't think so. Let's see. Oh, he just let it hang. Can you believe that? Really? What's your evidence to back up what you just said? It's not Mylar balloons and what did he say? Mylar balloons and seagulls? Okay. Well, what do you got there, Eric Weinstein? What do you got there, Weinstein? What do you got, buddy?
I'm trying to come up with a word for it, but it's like recursive false flags, in a way, where the goal is not to give or hide truth. The goal is to fire hose with information so much that the truth can no longer be discerned.
It's a haystack of bullshit to make sure that any needle is very difficult to find. It is.
No. If there was a needle to find, all of these crazy loony bins out there like you would have already found it a long time ago, bro. There was nothing to find. That's the problem. You completely phrased this incorrectly.
Bullshit haystacking. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so they haystacked the crap out of this thing. I have no question that there was something that was used to develop U.S. aircraft like the B-2 bomber and the SR-71 Blackbird. So if you see something crazy in the sky, better that you think it's a UFO from outer space than some advanced thing from Lockheed. I have no question that we used this to deal with things like the Chinese balloon shoot down, where we shot down several things in a week and we couldn't recover debris from any of them.
We did recover debris from all of them. So fucking weird, dude. This guy, they literally have video of them fishing the stuff out of the ocean. Why am I smarter than this guy? The guy that gets on Joe Rogan is just a straight fucking liar. You all know it too. You're all smarter than him too, because you've all seen the video of them fishing the shit out of the ocean. Hey, Josh Shee, what's up, buddy?
I mean, come on, guys. Maybe the idea is that this is a head fake to our adversaries to develop the wrong things and to use their treasure on things that won't work. Maybe there's a secret program where some of this stuff is actually real and true, and we're not allowed to know it because it would be too mind-blowing. Maybe there's a...
No. Go on.
Cult inside of our government that has...
No. Go on.
Placed angels with saucer-shaped aircraft. Whatever this thing is, it's being used for many different purposes. There's something here. We just don't know what.
Because there's nothing there, and that's why you don't know what. Because if there was something there, you would know what. This is a scientist, guys, right? This is a deep thinker. This is an author. This is a Joe Rogan guest.
This is the problem. The princess can't feel a pee because that would be impossible. The princess feels a disturbance. And you can't say what the disturbance is. Maybe it's a golf ball. Maybe it's a cantaloupe. Maybe it's a banana. But whatever it is, there's something wrong with the mattress.
No. Because the princess could be lying to you, Eric. Did you ever consider that, Mr. Deep Thinker? Did you ever think that humans lie and make shit up so they can be on podcasts like this? Huh. You're a gullible man, aren't you, Eric?
Yeah, it seems to me this fire hosing, the goal of uncertainty.
Right. How do things muddle out? Who wins in a muddle is a great question we're not taught to ask. Sorry to jump in on that, but
tell
I
me
just
more.
love, always look for who is trying to muddle to win. Like, very often you're in a dispute with entrenched status quo, and somebody will say, well, I guess we'll have to agree to disagree on this one. Like, oh, well, who wins if we agree to disagree? Oh, it's you. Right?
Yeah.
This is like an old principle of mine, which is that you can always tell who's guilty by who first declares a time of healing.
Why? Why is that a razor to use?
What's this got to do with
Because
UAPs?
if you do something wrong and the public is clamoring for your blood, you say, there's been too much blame and finger pointing on all sides.
At me.
It's, I think what we need is to come together and declare a time of healing.
For me.
Right. So I believe that in general, whoever declares a time of healing is suspect number one.
That's a very nice razor to use. I wonder about this. Oh, how would you say? Epidemic of uncertainty.
Brilliant. Speaking my language.
And I wonder,
I mean, talk.
how, first off, how as an individual you are supposed to put up any kind of effective defense, to just take some sovereignty, being, you know, an agentic individual.
Right.
And secondly, I wonder what the end goal is. I understand why uncertainty would be useful for manipulation, because if people can't discern truth from untruth, it can be easy to poke them and prod them and float them in particular directions. Right. But it also seems like, no, kind of also useless as well, that some people, non-insignificant, large cohort of people will just reject it entirely, which actually
they're doing.
Which actually makes it more chaotic and more unruly. So it makes me think, well, maybe if this is the case, if the fire hosing is happening,
right,
this epidemic of uncertainty,
oh, jeez,
maybe the outcomes were predicted but haven't manifested in the way that was intended. Maybe there's more of a rebellious streak in...
Say more about that. I'm not trying to understand you.
That if people who... If you make the public very uncertain about most things by overloading them with information, or by even the... it doesn't even need to be coordination. It could be a byproduct of having 24/7 access to the entire world's population through Twitter and Instagram stories and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
There is so much I can no longer discern, even due to a multiplicity of opinions that's not coordinated to be a multiplicity that go in opposite directions.
Right.
If it was coordinated, the outcomes that are occurring at the moment, a lot of the time don't seem to be happening with people just, oh, roll over, tell me exactly what to do. There is a massive, non-insignificant cohort of people that say, I'm checking out, and I now no longer trust anybody at all. And that doesn't
or
seem...
anything.
Yes, and that doesn't seem to be, if the goal was ease of control, that doesn't seem to be effective for the person that wanted that, or the group that wanted that to be the outcome.
First of all, I'm really glad to get a question about this as a sea change, which is that our lives have become wall-to-wall uncertainty. We can't discern. If the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor today, we would spend 10 years discussing whether it was a false flag, whether it was actually the Japanese, whether there was any attack, whether it was a soundstage, whether it was a psyop, whether it was a...
I like that he's saying this, and he's part of the problem of that. He's one of the people that puts out that kind of rhetoric. Yeah, it's exquisitely hypocritical to hear him saying what he's saying right now. But he's right. If the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, it would be 10 years before we figured out what the fuck happened, because we'd be so busy fucking, oh, those are feds. You know, we hear it all, man. Oh, it's the LGBTQs coming for your kids. We've heard every fucking excuse. You guys are all, everybody out there is in fear. Complete fear of shit. And, oh, it's a government conspiracy, and it's the goddamn CIA. It's a CIA psyop. Listen to him say this again, because I completely agree with this.
Pearl Harbor today, we would spend 10 years discussing whether it was a false flag, whether it was actually the Japanese, whether there was any attack, whether it was a soundstage, whether it was a psyop, whether it was a, you know... Right now, the main institutions of our society have abdicated their role for public spirited adjudication of what is true based on expertise. And so what you're seeing is people coming to hate experts and coming to hate institutions because they're realizing that these institutions lie to them at a level that they've never considered unless they were Alex Jones fans to begin with. And so what you're having is a large number of people waking up to the idea that, yeah, there really are organizations and working groups that determine what you hear from a multiplicity of venues. It's the same message relentlessly.
Do you think people are overly pattern matching that now?
Say more by what you mean.
That they're seeing conspiracy where there isn't, because the lack of faith in institutions.
Same person is saying that they see a conspiracy and they see no conspiracy. They have part of their head that remembers that conspiracy theorists are crazy people, and they've got part of their brain that remembers that normies who don't believe in conspiracies are crazy people. And they can't integrate those things, right? They cannot figure out, how are these things being coordinated? Am I a crazy person for seeing these patterns? Am I a crazy person for ignoring them?
Believing them?
For when they're unearthed? What you're seeing is a complete destruction of bedrock reality that if you weren't actually physically there. How do we know that these people actually met in a warehouse? Is this really a table, or is it just, CGI? Was it green and we could superimpose wood onto it? Nobody knows what's true. And, if you ask me, well, Eric, how are you dealing with this? I would say I'm failing. I'm just flat out failing, as are all of you. I'm just more honest about it. Some of you have an idea that you've got one lens, which is fix the money, fix the world. Bitcoin, that's the answer. Yeah, Bitcoin, rock on. But no, that's not the answer. Or somebody else says, I really think that we just need to be open and tolerant and realize it's a big world and you just have to give people their due. Well, that doesn't work either. You can't just let everything run riot, or we have to go back to
Harmony One is
With
1
these
penny,
people at the
guys.
helm, are you kidding? We have to abandon
You
our
get it for
institutions.
1 penny
what are you
right now.
saying?
Harmony One.
We're going to abandon our institutions? Do you know what that looks like? Nobody has an answer.
In other news, this episode is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify is the e-commerce platform
Yeah, good luck with the Shopify, buddy. One hour ago.
Thank you very much for joining me on this Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Let's get right to it.
This is an
Lee.
hour old,
It is now a
guys.
tropical storm. It will become a hurricane, and a major hurricane. What we were talking about yesterday is right on track. I want to go over the computer models in the short term, computer models in the long term, show you the wind field of this. Lots to cover, so let's dive into it.
It's going to be
First
category
things first,
4
let's start
when
here,
it comes
because,
by.
again, this is where it's closest to. Watching this for us in the Caribbean. Here's Anguilla, for example, Puerto Rico right here. Now, this is very similar to what I've been showing you the last 2 days. So far, still locked in. Again, some fluctuations, few kilometers difference, few miles difference. As of now, this would put the center of this, if you're following the European model, 250 miles or 400 kilometers north and northeast of the northeastern Caribbean. And the American model, about the same. Both have been very similar, which is good. It's nice to see some agreement out there. They're picking up on what's going on in the atmosphere very well, very consistent. On this heading, again, it puts all the hurricane conditions and all of the sustained tropical storm conditions north and northeast of the northeastern Caribbean. This would be north of Puerto Rico, for example, as we work our way into the weekend. So let's start here. Let me show you this. This is the American model. Again, it's about the same as the European model right now, at least in the short term. Now, again, here's the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Dominica right here. Now, this is jumping ahead Friday night into Saturday. Let me stop it here. Saturday morning. Saturday morning, again, all eyes on this. Any shift with this would make a big difference. So again, I am watching that hour by hour for you. But as it stands now, again, the core of this would be just offshore by Saturday morning, offshore of Antigua and Barbuda.
God, that's
offshore
4
of St.
days
Martin.
away,
so again,
dude.
I'll be watching this on Saturday carefully for you. Same thing as we get into Saturday afternoon. Well, are we going to feel any of the rain bands? Are we going to get any of that? Now, as it lifts a little bit more north of the islands, that's when we'll start to see some of the rain bands trying to wrap in. But it's not the core stuff. The core stuff is here. That is what I'm always super concerned about. I don't want a hurricane on top of anyone. So again, that's the core stuff.
Go drop a
This is as we
hydrogen
work
bomb
away
in
to
the middle
Sunday.
of that thing.
Look at here, Sunday evening.
Throw
Now,
it
at this
off
point,
kilter.
we may get a few rain bands sneaking into this, no doubt. You get some rain bands in the Caribbean, we know how it goes. That could give us some brief downpours, some gusty winds for a time. But the core is the concern because, again, this is going to be so powerful. This is by Monday morning.
They need
again,
to drop
to
a
the
Moab
north.
on
So
that
again,
bad
on track,
boy.
keeping
A
all the
Moab.
hurricane force winds in the sustained,
push it
which
over
kinda
to the
means constant
side.
tropical storm force conditions to the north. This would be later on Monday, north of Puerto Rico by a decent measure. Again, it's super close overall, but again, keeping all of this action offshore, we will get it. It's not even picking up. The models don't always pick up on it. There will be some big feeder bands that kind of stretch into that. As I mentioned, that could give us some of the gusty winds, some rain at times. But again, there is the action in watching down the road Turks and Caicos. By the time we get into Tuesday, if it stays on this heading, again, yeah, it's too close for comfort, of course. But again, it would put all of that action off to the east and northeast as we work our way into early next week. So on track. Still watching these zones from the Dominican Republic down toward Martinique. We're on high alert. Thank you for sharing this channel. I know you've been getting the word out. I've been seeing it on different platforms. Thank you for doing that. Again, the northerly track now is holding. I'm watching for changes. Again, we will, of course, get the very high and dangerous seas. And again, some of those rain bands that I was talking about that kind of feed into the system. Yeah, those are going to be moving by. And yes, we'll get some gusty winds.
Dude, look at
Now,
all those
let me
storms.
broaden out just a touch and then get into the computer models and the steering conditions. This here is still what's left of Idalia.
Dude, you see all the storms
again,
behind
here in
this
Nova
one?
Scotia, and that's a good thing because, again, that's been paving a little bit of a path for this to take a bit of a turn. And by the way, there's some stuff back behind it. I do believe there's going to be a lot more development back behind it, but that is down the road. Again,
That's what I
latest
said.
track. This is from the National
I'm good,
Hurricane
aren't I?
Center. They are locked into this too.
That's
Not
why you
much
watch me
variation
for your
because, again,
news.
The models are in such good agreement.
I'm
which
good
is-
at doing
which
this.
is good to see. Even if this were to go somewhere, that's good to see the agreement because at least that would give folks the time to prepare for this system. But again, the cone, which the cone doesn't, it's not an impact cone. That doesn't mean where their impacts are. Again, once it's over here, the impacts are going to be far outside of the cone, but it does show where the center may go. And again, even the closest approach would keep the center offshore, but the Hurricane Center does have this, of course, as a major hurricane. Winds could be 150, could be upwards of 160 miles per hour. This is going to be, it's going to be a beast. It's going to be a scary system to look at. We're all going to be, even with everything in good agreement, I'm going to be nonstop looking at this like, come on, let's make the turn here. We need this to make the turn.
Everything says it's
going
to turn to the right.
Turn again, not quite yet. And
Every single model says it's turning to the right.
Kind of going off to the west a little bit. That doesn't mean it's off course. Again, they wobble and you kind of smooth it out. But again, all of the models are keeping this over here. These models aren't really good ones. It's really this core right here. Again, these are computers. Not all handle situations the same way. Do take a super powerful system just to the northeast of the Caribbean. Looking out, this is the American model in the variations of this. And again, showing a curve. I do believe it's going to be a little bit more to the west. I think it's going to stall out some. What happens in my decades of doing this, these systems, as they make a curve, sometimes they stall out a little bit before another system kind of picks them up, and it's kind of figuring out the environment and where it wants to go. But with that said, again, as I've been mentioning, Canada, Bermuda, of course, yeah, I want it to make a curve, but I do not want it to curve right into Bermuda or anyone for that matter, hoping it kind of splits everyone, and that's still a possibility. But again, Bermuda, Canada, Atlantic region, New England, Northeast as a whole, Mid-Atlantic, keeping a very close eye on this, as I know we are as well, Bahamas, back through Florida. So again, here's what's left of Idalia here, keeping this area of high pressure over
God,
here.
Idalia's
And again,
still
if you're new to
going.
this channel, high pressure is like a blocker. If that were right here, that would be super bad news. That would be like a fence, and then this thing would just move to the west. So thankfully, what's left of Idalia here is left kind of a break or an open gate where this could at least slide somewhat up to the northwest. But again, when it makes these turns, that's going to be critical. critical kind of where this goes long term. And long term, nothing is clearly locked in with this. And I mean, these things have changed. We've seen changes with Irma in the past, Florence. We could go down the road with changes in hurricane systems, hurricanes and systems as a whole. Now, this is by the time on the European model we get into Thursday. Again, this point it's going to be, this is tomorrow, an intensifying hurricane. It is going to intensify quickly. Category 4. Category 5. I want to show you the intensity in a second and how long it could stay that strong. You see it here, though, European model going out in time. Now I want to bring you into Friday and into the weekend. Again, just like the American model, keeping it, again, offshore. This little disturbance may be catching your eye. I know a lot of folks love weather. I do love weather. I don't like storms on top of anyone, but I do like weather. This one should stay out to sea. It's going to be another wave back behind it. That may be another one of those long track systems we'll keep an eye on. But this here, a powerful hurricane by the time we get into Saturday morning, just to the northeast of the northeastern Caribbean. And again, a very powerful hurricane here, trying to stay to the east of the Turks and Caicos, Bahamas. Here's Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, again, early next week, it's going to be due north. And this is when it kind of starts to stall out. Okay, it starts to stall out because, again, it's trying to figure out, hey, what's going to pick it up and move it? We've got high pressure over there. We've got a little front here. The issue is this front here, the timing and strength is kind of up in the air. If it's strong, it'll take it and curve it, but there is a chance that this front here doesn't really fully curve it yet. It would have to be the front back behind it. I know it's a lot, but it's kind of a wait and see. One of these fronts is going to curve it more and help to make it move, but it may not be the first one. If it is not the first one, that could draw it a little bit closer to the United States and Canada down the road. By the way, there is Bermuda. European model would be nice. It would split the United States in the short term and Bermuda, but my fear with this is, again, if it does do this, unlike the other systems that we've had, it may not be able to have an escape out here. See this area of high pressure right here may temporarily build in. I think it was 4 videos ago I was mentioning how fluid and dynamic the atmosphere is long term. Not all forecasts are the same. Some are super easy to forecast. This one is difficult because high pressure in fronts, they're going to be changing so rapidly up here kind of downstream. So with that, again, if high pressure starts to build in, there may not be, again, it acts like a fence, there may not be an escape route. Again, Newfoundland over toward Nova Scotia, New England, again, high attention to this down through the Carolinas. Can't stress that enough. High uncertainty, even down toward Florida. I was just talking with some folks this morning.
Don't come here.
Yeah, everyone's really keeping an eye on this.
We don't want you here. We don't, yeah, man, you know, let me tell you about Florida.
Again, it is holding, and that is good. So here's the broad picture.
We're not very hospitable here. You know, they got warnings out for the LGBTQ, the African Americans, and we might as well just group the hurricanes in there too. Don't come here. We don't want you here. All right? That's Florida. That's Ron DeSantis' Florida. It's not hospitable. It sucks. But I don't want to be hospitable to any hurricanes either. So, don't fucking come here, man. Look at that fucking thing, dude. Holy shit. Anywho, if my chats moved at all, I'd totally keep these shows going. I want you guys to know that. But there's no one there talking, participating, making comments, you know, motivating me to keep putting on the show. I'm not feeling the love, guys. I sit here and I'm create content for you, but I don't get any chats back. I don't even know if you're here watching anymore. So I'm going to call it. I will see you guys later. I'm going to go do some fun shit. And I'll talk to you guys on the next time I go live. How about that? That's what we'll do. Okay. Bye, guys.